Let's see how this goes. We seem to have fixed the lighting a little bit. I'm looking pretty good if I do say so myself. We'll see how the audio goes tonight. Welcome back to Prepping with Sarge, where we talk about all things preparedness. We talk about financial preparedness, which is one of my favorite topics to talk about. One of the only prepper channels that really goes into that in depth. I talk about all things, storms, things like that, and food self-sufficiency, foraging in the wilderness survival, bushcraft medicine, herbalism. I'm glad to have you. If you're returning, I appreciate you so much. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much. Please consider subscribing. I drop videos twice a week. Usually try to do at least one live stream, and that's the Friday night prepper pre-party show, which you are now watching. Hey, how's it going? And I think I finally, Stuart, I think I finally figured out the chat thing too. So went back to streaming from the camera, but I've got my laptop for the chat. Hey, SilverStacks prepper, so good to see you. So I got a couple announcements before I get into the main topic. The main topic tonight is, excuse me for just a second. Oh man, I gotta work on these. All right, main topic tonight is we are going to do a silver unboxing. But I want to do a couple little announcements first. So channel update, how am I doing towards the monetization? Well, right now I am, I think I need a little bit over 300 hours. So we're getting there. It's probably happen within the next month, I think, three weeks or a month. I'm gonna have to switch glasses here in a second. I think I actually cracked the frame. We'll see if we can get through the live stream with this. If not, I got another pair over there. Dang, that's too bad. I liked these too. You know what? I'll be right back. I got another pair right over there. Hang on one second. All right, those are not expensive reading glasses. Those are not expensive glasses. Those are just readers that they were like, from CVS or whatever for a couple bucks. But I liked those. I'll have to see if I can find another pair just like them. Anyways, we're getting closer to monetization. And for those of you who are content creators, I want to throw out a little announcement here. Something I just found out about, YouTube is going to be starting up another way that you can make money besides the ad revenue. And that is a program called YouTube Thanks. You're going to start to see that if you are part of the YouTube Partner Program, or if you watch channels that are part of the YouTube Partner Program. What YouTube Thanks is, it's basically like a little tip button down below. So, some of us have like that PayPal button down below if you wanted to send us a little tip. YouTube is actually going to have their own, which you'll probably see a lot of channels do away with that whole PayPal tipping thing once this goes live. And it seems like it's going to go live pretty soon. So just a heads up, you guys will see that soon. Another quick announcement is I am working on putting together what I'm going to do for a GAW. And this will be after we get monetized. So I have some stuff. I had actually won some stuff. Those of you guys have been following me for a while. I had won some stuff through Silver Scorpion had a GAW. And I usually don't enter other channels' GAWs because I like to see other people win. But I won that one, and I said, you know what, I think I'd rather turn that around and give it back to the community. So some of that stuff's going to be going in there. I'm going to be adding some of my own stuff. Now, I'm not going to heavily advertise this, okay? I will be following all of YouTube's contest rules. You will have to be over 18. I'm so sorry if you're a younger person. You'll have to be a resident of the United States, only because shipping is like ridiculous trying to send some prizes up to, and I know I have a lot of viewers in Canada, got viewers all over the world actually. I got a lot of viewers in India, but I am not going to be able to ship to you. I'm so sorry. So you'll have to be part of the continental US and over 18. I will be following all the YouTube rules regarding contests. You'll have more information coming about that, but I am not advertising this because I'll tell you why. You don't have to be subscribed to my channel. I don't want people subscribing to my channel just for a GAW. There's a lot of people who go around and they check for this kind of stuff. They search for keywords and they'll subscribe and they'll stay for the GAW and then they unsubscribe. I'm not interested in that. That's not what this is about. This is about, for me, it's about giving back to you all, the community that has helped to get me here and to help support me. So that's thing one. You're not gonna have to write any fancy comments. You're not gonna have to give me a shout out video or anything like that. This is just me giving back. So stay tuned for that. It'll be, I'll tell you, it's going to be in a live stream. It's going to be after I'm monetized, and you're not going to see a lot of advertisement or anything like things like that, only because I don't want people subscribing just for that. Okay. In fact, you don't have to subscribe to be eligible. All right. All right. So there's that thing. All right. Next thing was I have a little shout out today. I had over on my Instagram. For those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, I have my Instagram account is everything_with_Sarge, and they talk about all the same stuff that I talk about here. You know, wilderness survival, financial prepping, general preparedness, and I did a little thing this week where I posted a picture of me foraging, and I said the first person to name this plant will get a shout out on my Friday live stream, and that person was nature_adventure_Italy. So you can go over, it was actually, I think it was yesterday's post. You can check that out if you're on Instagram. And go ahead and give Adventure Italy _Italy a follow if you could. They spell adventure ADVE, no N, TURE, and then _Italy. Okay. And they've been a big supporter of my Instagram over there. They're constantly giving me, hearts on my content, commenting, things like that. So they've been a real good friend over there on Instagram. Thank you so much. And several people got it right. It was cattails, by the way. It was cattails. Several people got it right, but this account here was the first person to get it right. All right, let's go into the next part, which is the bulk part of our Friday night prepper pre-party show. I'm going to do another survival story. Then we're going to go into the main part of it, which is the unboxing, and then we'll see where we're at for time. Hey, Grano, it's good to see you. How you been? By the way, anybody who's watching or who tunes in, let me know if you're streaming on Friday nights. I like to, usually Friday nights I'm just kind of gaming. After I'm done, I kind of do some gaming, and I listen to other people's streams. So if you stream on Friday nights, let me know. All right, first one is, this is a survival story. You may recognize this name. This is a very famous survival story. Aaron Lee Ralston. Okay, so if you've heard of Aaron Lee, I'm glad to hear that. Great note. If you've heard of Aaron Lee Ralston, down in the comments or whatever, do #survivor. But a lot of people have. This is a famous story. So he is an outdoorsman. He's a very, very experienced hiker. So a lot of times, when you hear some of the stuff that's going on in these survival stories, you'll say, why did they do that? Why did they do that? And I think it's important to note when somebody is experienced versus not, and that we can all, even though, you may be experienced hiker, you may be experienced prepper, whatever, you're still capable of making mistakes. I talked about that last Friday. So he was solo hiking in southeastern Utah in the Blue John Canyon, and he got stuck. He dislodged a boulder and it pinned his arm on the side of the canyon wall. Sound familiar now? Now, you might say, why was he solo hiking that far into wilderness? Well, he was very experienced and he had done this many times before. And I solo hike. My wife usually knows where I am, or tell a friend or whatever. But a lot of times I can't get somebody to go with me, so I solo hike. And I've solo overnighted in the woods. You should tell somebody your general location. That's going to become important here in a second. Now you can read his autobiography, which was Between a Rock and a Hard Place. If I can find that on Amazon after I'm done uploading this with this video, I'll pin it. And if you use my account, of course, I get a little commission. You don't have to use my account. It's just one of the ways you can help out the channel. Appreciate you. All right, next thing is, so he was hiking. He got pinned. He had done multiple solo mountaineering and hiking adventures by himself. Very experienced person. So he got stuck. And he, of course, had not told anyone. Here's the key mistake. He had not told anyone where he was, and nor did he have, because he was, I think, out of cell phone range, no way to call for help. You can see the problem here, right? So he assumed he was going to die. He was there for 5 days trying to ration out his food and water. And repeatedly, of course, trying to get his arm out, using whatever tools he had with him to try to leverage his arm out. He started to realize that he was in big trouble and that he probably was going to die there. So he started to think about, I'm going to have to, the only way I'm getting out of this alive is to amputate my own arm. If you're enjoying my content so far, by the way, please give me a thumbs up. So he tried to do this. He was at this point, his mind was getting delirious. We talked about this in the last Friday pre-party show, how your mental status changes in these situations. And so this is why when people read these stories, they're like, why did they do that? That seems like a really bad idea. Your mental status changes. So he spent a little while trying to play around with tourniquets. Remember, he's trying to apply this thing with one hand. He tested a few cuts to his forearm, and he got frustrated because he realized he's going to SilverStacks Prepper. You saw this movie. Yeah, the movie is called, you're right, it's called 127 Hours. You're right. So he realized that he was going to have to break through the bone or cut the bone, and he didn't have a way to do that. So he got frustrated and gave up. On the 5th day, he started drinking his own urine. We talked about that last time, why that's a bad idea, but survival instincts kick in, and any kind of liquid, you're going to start thinking about drinking. Exactly, SilverStacks Prepper. The fight or flight kicks in. He did have a phone with him, so he recorded his goodbyes to his family, carved the date, his name, date of birth, into the canyon wall, hoping that someday somebody would find his body there. He fell asleep, and when he woke up, or passed out, it probably wasn't sleep. It was probably more like a mentally passed out. His arm was starting to decompose because it had been in that position for so long, and it had lost all circulation. And so he realized that where there was no feeling left in it at this point, he probably could break those bones if he used enough torque. I know this part's getting a little gruesome, and I apologize if you get a queasy stomach. Remember we said last time, survival ain't pretty, right? All right, so he did amputate his arm with a multi-tool. I'm gonna come back to that in a minute. And this is why we always say, always carry a knife, always carry a way to start fires, always carry, some water, right? He used the pliers. This is gruesome, I apologize. He used the pliers to cut through the tendons. It took over an hour. He used the tubing from his camelback to fashion a tourniquet, and he broke his arm to break those bones free. Talk about the will to survive, right? I mean, I know a lot of this was instinct at this point, but there is a will to survive that says, I'm willing to do anything just to get out of this canyon and go home and see my family, right? Now, one of the questions that he gets asked a lot is what kind of multi-tool was he using? Now, for those of you who are into the preparedness community, we love our gear, and Leatherman is considered kind of one of the gold standards for multi-tools. He didn't have a Leatherman. He just had a little $15 one like you get in, say, Walmart in those bubble packs, which is kind of interesting, He'll never name the brand, he said. What's up, Trident Stacking? All right, so he did get himself out. He walked 8 miles and came across a family that was vacationing, and they got him to safety. During the ordeal, he lost 40 pounds, which 25% of which was blood volume. He was rescued about 4 hours after amputating his arm. Now, if he hadn't done that, he would have died. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Excuse me. Had a little cough all day. I apologize. I hope I'm not getting the Ronies. All right, so so medical experts say if he had tried to amputate his arm before that, they think he would have bled out. This part gets a little gruesome too. Park authorities did retrieve his arm and returned it to him cremated. He brought it back to the location of the incident, and he scattered the ashes. Ashes there. He said that's where they belong. So if we get to it, I have another survival story at the end. It's a little bit more uplifting than that, but that one, very, very famous survival story because of the movie. Like I said, I'll try to pin the book later on. I'll go back in and do a couple final edits to the description and comments. So if you guys, I see I got 11 people in the chat now. How's everybody doing tonight? Hormones, electrolyte imbalance causes absolutely, and panic too. Panic will change your thinking. If you guys are enjoying this so far, please remember to give me a thumbs up. Let's get into what the moment that you all are here for, which is some unboxing. Famous but not uplifting. No, I do have another one that's a little bit more. I think that's inspiring. It is inspiring, but I've got one that I think inspires me even more. All right, so what are we doing? I ordered some silver from JM Bullion. This took longer. This is not a knock against JM Bullion. This took longer than it typically does. I usually get my silver pretty quick. I had ordered one of those Type 2 American Eagles that just came out, and remember there was a warning that shipping may be delayed. So that was the only reason why. I don't expect any problems with this. I've used JM Bullion for years. I'm going to do this under the camera because there's going to be paperwork in here that reveals some stuff that I don't want to put out there just yet. Today we are using for our unboxing, I've got the CRKT M21. I have a review out there if you want to check this out. I know you can probably see on there this blade needs a little bit of work. It's time for me to touch that up, but it'll get the job done today. And I printed out some stuff. I know I said I was going to get back to the Germany floods. I did a little more research on that, so I might get to that too. Yeah, that's great note. I'm going to talk about that one day too. The ski team that crashed in the was it the Andes, I think, and they resorted to. If this is the same story that I'm thinking, maybe it's not. They resorted to eating the bodies of the people who had died, which is just unimaginable. The mental trauma that to get to that point. And again, the will to survive kicks in. Trident, you use that M21. It's a good knife. I've had that, I think probably 9 or 10 years, and it's been a workhorse. So that's the Andes one where they had to do the cannibalism. All right. Sorry, this is packed really well. That's why it's taking me so long. All right, it looks like 1, 2, 3. All right, that's what I got. I'm gonna break them all open and show you. Let me get some gloves on here. Hey, Trident Preparedness, it's good to see you too. I appreciate it. No worries. I'm gonna grab some gloves here. All right. Anybody got any good plans for the weekend? Anybody doing anything fun? I got a lot of yard work to do, and we got guests coming in. My wife's family's coming in on Tuesday, so we're gonna try to just do a little house cleanup. But we're overdue anyway, so I don't mind. Get a little what I usually do is I get a little music going, get a big old pot of strong coffee, get to work. Yard work. 412 is the next day. Yeah, and I was telling Titan Preparedness that my wife's got some work on Sunday, so I'm gonna probably help her out with that. All right, so let's just kind of go through these and see what we got. And I can tell you right now, from what I'm seeing, these are in really nice shape, as I expect. As I expect. I've never had a problem with JM Bullion, and if I did, I would have no problems calling them back, contacting them to get it squared away. Okay, so this was 2021. I think these are all 2021s. This is a 2021 Britannia. See if I can get this right with the light. I know it's kind of hard with the live. Let me see if I can turn that down just a little bit. Let's try that. All right, so that's a 2021 Britannia. I'll show you the backside here. I don't know if the Queen would appreciate me saying the backside. I love these 2021 Britannias, and to me, this is one of the best coins of the year. And the reason that I say that is that little, see if that little security feature right here, it's like a little hologram. I just think they did such a great job with that. They are a good company. Yeah, I apologize to the Queen. Sorry. All right, next one. That was the Britannia. So this was, okay, this is a Silverleaf. And this is I think this is my first 2021 Silverleaf. Give you a little, but look at, I mean, the condition is fantastic. There's not a scratch or anything on there. Now the Silverleafs, you guys know we've talked about it before. Something about the Silverleafs, they have a tendency to milk spot, so I am being super, super careful going forward with all my Silverleafs, trying not to touch them. And as soon as we're done, these are probably going into protective cases. And I like they've got a little security feature down the bottom at 6 o'clock, if you can see that. All right, that's number 2. Silver Maples. All right, next one is, oh, this is the, yeah, I like these. This is the Noah's Ark. What is it, Armenia? I'll show you, hang on. Yeah, Armenia. These are really cool. These are the Noah's Ark coins. Hey, Digital Preppers, good to see you. Trident stacking. So they fixed the problem. It's just the old ones that have that. And here's the Ark on the back. Now, I don't know if you, just sidebar here, I don't know if you all knew, in Kentucky, they actually have a Noah's Ark museum. I have not been there, even though I lived in Kentucky. It was built after I moved away from there. But it's like, it's built to what, you know, what was perceived to be scale based on what it says in the Bible. And it's like a 5 or 6 hour tour. I've heard that it's awesome. I've seen the pictures and the thing is huge. Imagine like the Empire State Building laying on its side. That's how big this thing is. Well, I didn't know that, Trident stacking. That's really good to hear. Because I mean, they're such a pretty coin. I love the Maple Leafs. And if I ever have to bug out of the country because we're, you know, at war or whatever, I'm probably going to Canada. So I want a lot of Canadian silver. And I need to add some more Canadian gold. I think I've got only like one piece. All right, this is the Philharmonic, in case I need to bug out to Europe. Now, does Canada have the same problem where the birds aren't real? Are the birds in Canada real? You guys know I'm messing around, right? Okay, that's the Philharmonic, and the denomination for that is euros. I always get a couple of those each year too. The one that I don't know if I'm going to continue to stack is the Libertad. Because I like the Libertads. They're super popular coin, but I just feel like the premiums are way cranked up on them. I mean, at the end of the day, for me as a prepper stacker, I do collect too, but I'm more a prepper stacker. It's an ounce of silver to me is an ounce of silver, right? Now, I'm not knocking on the collectibles like the Peanuts and the Star Wars. A lot of people like those, and there is a good market for it. And yes, you can make money flipping that kind of stuff. I'm just saying, for me personally, I'm more interested in, you know, American Eagles, Silver Eagles, and I do like having some Libertads in there, but I just feel that premium is so high compared to like the Krugerrands and the Silver Leafs. I don't know if it would float, Digital Prepper. I don't know about that. All right, this is what caused the delay here. There's a lot of controversy around this coin here, folks. Dump the pandas and stack the Libertads. Yeah, I know. A lot of people hate those pandas. I know. I get it. I get it. All right, so this is what caused the delay. This is my first of the Type 2. They changed the design on the American Eagles, and a lot of people do not like this. I'm going to show you, and you give me your opinion. So there's the... I do love my pandas. Yeah. So there's the front side, right? Lady Liberty. And she is gorgeous. That's my Yankee Rose right there. Right? Now here's the problem. I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like the backside. Right? I apologize, Lady Liberty. I like the old design, y'all. I like the old design better. But what do you think? That's the new design. That's the first. Now I will grab a few of these. But I don't know. I like the old design better. It's in nice shape. I mean, it looks to me almost uncirculated. You know, it's brand new, so it should be almost uncirculated. But even that, like, I'll have to take a closer look, you know, under the lighting myself. But I don't see any flaws or anything like that. I'll take a closer look when I can. Maybe I'll do some Instagram shots. I can load them up there, and you guys can give your opinions over there too. You like the Type 1 better? It's all good. I'm sorry. I didn't see you come in the door. How you doing? You like them? It's all good? It's going to take some getting used to. So knowing the history of coins, here's the other thing, y'all. If you look at the U.S. Mint and the history of coins, when the public doesn't like a certain style and there's enough backlash, they will discontinue it. So if enough of us don't like this, they will discontinue it. That has happened in the past. All right, I think I got one more for you. I thought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I gotta check that invoice. Hang on. Let's check that invoice. All right, so this is the... Oh, this is the... I don't know how to pronounce this. Nui? Is that how you pronounce that country? This is the Nui. Again, all 2021s. Okay. And on the back, it's the Athena Owl. I always thought this was a cool coin. I love the ridges on the outside. Let's see if we can get that clear up a little bit for you. All right, let me just check my invoice here. I thought I had 7, but maybe I did just order 6. No, it was just 6. But I'm getting ready to do another order. Every single one of these coins looks like it's in phenomenal shape. I see your comments there, guys. I'll get to them in just a second. Homestead Corner, so good to see you. Every one of these coins looks phenomenal, and I'm getting ready to do another order. And yeah, I need to visit my local coin shop. I haven't seen him in a while, so I need to go over there. I'm going to get some Constitutional there, but then I'm probably going to do another JMB order. Still just working on 2021s right now. I will get some more of those Type 2s. I want to have a few in there. Will it go? I think somebody posted, will it go up if it's discontinued? So yeah, if depending on how rare it is, right? Like, I don't know how many they're minting. I didn't look it up this year, but if where they split it this year, there was a Type 1 and Type 2 that I think they're minting less this year, right? So it might be like half as much as it normally is. That alone does increase the rarity and the value of it. If they discontinue it after a year or two, then yeah, it does. It will help the value over the long term. So, you know, there's some benefit to the community putting some pressure on the mint and saying, we don't like this coin. Now, if people say we don't like this coin, but the coin's still selling really well, then that's probably not gonna work. Ridges make it a stacker, cool coin. Yeah, those are really cool. I hate the Eagle old and new one. I only like certain proofs. The 2019 enhanced reverse proof, no harm intended. Yep. Yeah, well, I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for all the feedback on that. I don't know if I can find the Libertads closer. I don't mind paying a little bit more because I know it's a popular coin. I don't mind paying a little bit more, but I'm not paying $42 for an ounce of silver. Personally, me. Again, there's many people who do, and that's okay. I'm just saying, for me, that's outside of what I'm willing to do, unless spot price goes up to like 35, right? You know, then to me, I feel like I'm getting a good deal. So I'll see what I can find. A lot of times people buy these and then they can't, you know, they need money, so they'll dump them off onto the secondary market, and sometimes you can find better deals that way. We'll see what happens. I haven't checked the price on them recently. All right, where are we at for time? It's 8:14. I got about 15 minutes left. So for those of you who are new, I usually like to end us at 8:30 because there's a couple other streams that I do like to support, one of which is the Silver Husky and Director of Awesome do their bin auction, which is the Merchant Metals live stream. And sometimes my friend Morgan from Rogue Preparedness does her live stream. I'm not sure if she's streaming tonight. But before I go to the next part of it, which is, I think I'm going to go right to the second survival story. Is anybody streaming tonight or tomorrow? Please go ahead. Let us know in the comments there. I may or may not have a pop-up stream on Sunday. I'm not ready to say definite yet because there's a couple things that are in the works in the background. So just kind of keep an eye out if you're sitting around watching the Olympics or whatever, or you're trying to prove that birds aren't real. Just kind of keep an eye out for that notification. All right, let's go to the second survival story. And if you guys want to plug anything down below, go ahead and plug it in the chat. And I always appreciate you everybody joining me on the Friday night pre-party show. I hope you guys are looking forward to an awesome weekend. Have some fun. Hug your family. Love your family. If you drink, have a little fun. Don't drive. And watch some cool prepper movies and stuff like that. Titan Preparedness, so good to see you. Yeah, let me know. Just let me know. In fact, I'll send you through email. I'm going to send you my phone number so that you can just text me if it looks like it's going to work out, okay? All right. Next one. This is the one that kind of inspired me. This is about a World War II soldier, and his name is Louis Zamperini. So if you've heard this story before, in the comments, you can give me a hashtag hero, okay? Louis Zamperini was working on planes that were in the Pacific Theater during World War II. And on May 27th, 1943, their plane lost power. He'd actually survived several battles. A couple times his plane was getting shot at. And you have any examples of good prepper movies? Yeah, I'll get to that in just a second. What was the one I just watched? It was pretty decent. It'll come to me. I'm gonna go back to the story. It'll come to me. All right. So he had in one of his flights, their plane had got shot. Or they counted 600 times that it had been shot, and it limped back into base. So this time they went down into the ocean. There was 11 crewmen, and only 3 of the 11 crewmen survived the crash into the ocean. Louis Zamperini was one of those. Pilot Russell Allen Phillips and tail gunner Francis McNamara. They were adrift on life rafts. They just had the life raft provisions with them, and they basically rationed that out while they're drifting at sea. Sharks were circling their life rafts. A Japanese bomber flew by at one point and strafed them, basically destroying one of the rafts. And the second one was badly damaged during that. They basically drank rainwater and ate birds and fish. See, that really amazes me. That's the second time we've read one of these stories where somebody was out on a raft. The other one was that adrift story, and they were catching birds. The only thing I can think of, it's not clear, and I haven't read these 2 books, but it's not clear if maybe they're using fish bait to catch the birds. That's what I'm thinking. All of them saw their weight drop below 100 pounds. Tail gunner McNamara perished after 33 days. A Japanese Navy vessel picked them up, and they had been drifting an astonishing 2,000 miles. They'd been drifting for 2,000 miles. So he then, after that horrible ordeal, became a prisoner of war, where he was repeatedly beaten, tortured, interrogated. There was one particular Japanese corporal that particularly liked beating on Louis Zamperini. He just had it in for him and would pretty much daily beat the crap out of him. Had him hold a log over his head and told him if he dropped the log, he would die, or he would shoot him. The officers for the prisoner of war camp would have these soldiers force them to fight each other until somebody was knocked out. They were eventually liberated in September of 1945. So he basically was in a prisoner of war camp getting tortured for 2 years. Whoa. I mean, you talk about the will to survive. Most people, I think, after a week of that, after a week of being tortured, would want to die, right? I don't know that I could put up with that for 2 years, right? I mean, just amazing. he, prior to going into the service, I see your comments, guys. I'll get to them in just 1 second. Prior to going into the service, he was a marathon runner. He was not able, because of all the injuries he sustained, he was not able to resume that. He had some pretty, as you can imagine, he had some pretty bad PTSD after this. Nightmares, flashbacks. The thing that helped him get out of, he turned to alcohol to try to manage the symptoms, and it's understandable. You know, if you had the kind of PTSD symptoms that he had, I think most people would be trying to figure out a way to make it go away. He watched a sermon from Billy Graham in 1949, and he converted to Christianity. Went on for the rest of his life, went on speaking tours, talking to troubled youth. In 1950, he returned to Japan, and he actually shook hands and embraced some of the old guards of the prisoner of the POW camp. The one who beat him every day, I don't think he ever got apprehended. Who knows what happened to him? But Zamperini wrote a letter saying that he forgave him, and I think he offered to meet with him several times on several trips back to Japan. But the guy just ghosted. So I don't know. He might have died somewhere, and somebody, you know, buried in an unmarked grave or whatever. But he never got to meet back up with him. But he did issue a public letter saying that he forgave him. I mean, wow. You know, so that one kind of reminded me of here in Charleston. How much time do I got? Good, we're okay. We got a few more minutes. Here in Charleston a few years ago, we had that horrible shooting. You guys probably remember from the news. Dylan Roof went into the AME church and shot up a bunch of people who were there for a Bible study. And at his initial hearing, where he was being charged and had to enter his plea, the family members of the survivors stood, and it was televised live, and this was before even trial or anything, told him they forgave him. You know, I mean, it still kind of chokes me up to think of that. And this is my community too, so it touches me probably a little bit more. But the idea that somebody could have that much grace to forgive somebody that has done them that wrong, I don't know that I have that much within me, that much forgiveness, that much grace. But it inspires me. And then the story of the people from the AME church who lost family members to horrific act of evil, it inspires me to know that there are people that have that much grace. And that story really, when I read that one today, really, you know, hit my heart well. So I like doing these survival stories. If you guys like them, please let me know. We'll continue to do them. It's kind of fun for me to research them and see what pieces of it we can turn into lessons here. All right, let's check out your comments. And then Digital Prepper, the movie that I saw recently was I think it was called Awake. And excuse me for just a second. I think I am getting a cold, y'all. But hopefully it's not the Ronies. Excuse me. Oh man. It was called Awake, and it was about, there was some kind of event that the oops, there goes my silver. There's some kind of event that knocks out all the power and also disrupts the circadian rhythms for all the survivors, and so nobody can fall asleep. And after a couple days of not being able to sleep, your mental abilities really start to deteriorate. There's been some documented studies on this. I talked about this in one of my other live streams where back when I was in graduate school, I went 72 hours without sleep, and I started to hallucinate. Not fun. Very, very scary. So that's a good movie. I'm pretty sure it was called Awake, and I think it was on Netflix. Were they real birds? So that trident stacking, that comes from, there's a conspiracy theory that birds aren't real. And you can look it up. I think there's actually a website called birdsaren'treal.com or .org or whatever. And that there's people who believe that birds are just like drones to spy on you. Now, can they create a drone to look like a bird? Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind that they could do stuff like that, right? But the idea that all birds aren't real is conspiracy theory. And apologies to anyone who believes that. I'm not trying to make fun or anything like that. That's just one that I have a hard time with. All right. Yeah, what if sharks weren't real? Try and start stacking. I've made on that, but I don't remember. Oh, the movie was called Unbroken. Yes, it's all good. It's all good. The movie was called Unbroken. You are right. Thank you for putting that out there. That was decent. Yep, I remember that one. There's even a subreddit on it. Yeah, yeah. It is amazing what people will accomplish. I mean, I don't know. Like I like to talk about myself as a prepper and a survivalist and that kind of stuff. But like some of the stuff I read, like it just amazes me. I know your instinct does kick in, and you probably like I might sit here and say, well, I would have given up at this point or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I guess you don't know until you're in it, when that part of the brain that we've talked about, right? The brain stem, the fight, flight, freeze, the survival part of it, when that kicks in is when you find out if you really, if you're that guy that can survive 2 years in a prison or a war camp getting tortured, or you're that guy that can drift at sea for 2,000 nautical miles, hoping that you may get rescued, right? Or you're that guy that can amputate his own arm to escape a canyon. Yes, exactly, Stuart. Thank you. Exactly. I appreciate you clarifying that for me. And I don't have enough time to get into it tonight, but in terms of like CGI screen and stuff like that, in a way, and from a physics point of view, everything, there's no such thing as solid, right? We're all molecules. Everything is made up of just molecules bouncing off each other. There's no such thing as a solid. So there really is no physical universe. It's just a bunch of molecules that are bouncing off of each other, sometimes so densely that we perceive it as solid. All right. I'll let you dwell on that one tonight. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Is there any other comments or anything you guys want to plug in the chat? If you haven't already done so and you feel like giving me a thumbs up, if you enjoy my content, I sure do appreciate it. I am so close to monetization, and that's because of all you. So I look forward to being able to do that. GAW that I'm not going to advertise after monetization. Keep an eye out for that. I really want stuff to go to members of the community. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I hope you all have some fun. Remember to love your family. Remember to hug them, spend time with them. Don't just play video games all night long like old Sarge. Keep planting your seeds. Keep stacking your silver. This is Prepping with Sarge.